Last month, I learned 30 new words in one evening.
30 in a single evening? That's a lot for one sitting.
30. I made a list, I tested myself twice, and I got every single one right.
Okay, that's a productive evening. I'd have felt pretty pleased with myself after that.
I did. I closed my laptop feeling like a serious language learner for once.
So what happened? Because I can hear that this story is going somewhere.
2 days later, I was in a store looking for something, and I needed one of those words.
Which word was it? Something complicated, I hope.
Shelf. Not a difficult word at all. It was on my list. I had tested it. I had it right both times.
And when you opened your mouth, nothing came out.
Nothing at all. I just stood there pointing up, saying, that up there. The flat thing.
The flat thing. That is a beautiful sentence, and I'm keeping it.
30 out of 30, 2 days earlier. That's what I kept thinking about on the way home.
This is my whole experience with Spanish, honestly. I learn a word, I feel great about it, and a week later, it's quietly disappeared.
But you'd know it immediately if you saw it written down somewhere.
Every time. Reading is never the problem for me. It's like the word is somewhere in the house, and I just don't know which room it's in.
That's a good way to put it. And that's exactly what today's episode is about.
Because this is one of the most common things learners write us about week after week.
People study lists, they use apps, they know hundreds of words. On paper, their vocabulary looks strong.
And then a conversation starts, and you can't find any of those words. You're not forgetful, by the way. You're not bad at languages either.
You're just learning words in a way that doesn't make them stick yet. And quickly, before we get into it,
We want to help you build vocabulary you can actually use, not just recognize on a page.
that's the whole reason we make these episodes. So if that's your goal too, subscribe to the channel.
And if this one turns out to be useful, the like button helps more learners find us. Okay, thank you. Let's start with the basic question.
Which is what exactly?
Why do words disappear when we've clearly learned them?
Because you have two vocabularies, not one. There's a passive one, which is all the words you recognize when you see or hear them.
And the second one is the one that fails us in shops.
The active one. Those are the words you can pull out of your head and use. And for most people, that list is much smaller.
So when I'm reading, I'm using the big list without noticing.
And the moment you speak, you're limited to the small one. That's exactly why I couldn't find shelf that day.
It had never been on your small list in the first place.
Apparently not. Think about it like a song you know well.
Go on.
I hear the first 2 seconds, and you know exactly what it is.
But if you asked me to sing that same song right now with no music, I'd get about 2 lines.
That's the difference. Hearing a song is easy. Singing it from memory is a completely different thing, and words work the same way.
And most of us spend all our study time on the easy one without realizing it.
Then we're surprised when the hard one doesn't work. It also changes what a good vocabulary test looks like.
How does it change it?
If you can see the English word in front of you, you're only testing recognition. The difficult part has already been done for you.
So the fix is to cover the English and work in the other direction?
Cover it, look at the meaning, and produce the word yourself. It's uncomfortable, and that discomfort is exactly the point.
Can I ask you something? Is any of this connected to the way we learned languages at school?
Very closely. You got a list on Monday, a test on Friday, and nothing at all in between.
I passed every one of those tests, and by September, I couldn't have told you 5 words from any of them.
Because the words were learned for the test, not for use. You learned them for one test, and then you stopped using them.
They never left the notebook, basically. They never went anywhere near my mouth.
Right. So let's talk about why this keeps happening, even to people who study seriously every day.
Give me the first reason then.
learning words with nothing around them. Word, translation, next word, and down the page you go.
What's wrong with that, though? It's fast and it feels organized.
It's fast for putting words in, it's almost useless for getting them back out again.
Why is that exactly?
Because your memory works by connection. A word with no connections has nothing holding it in place.
So it floats off somewhere and you never see it again.
And that can happen pretty quickly. Now compare that with learning shelf inside a real sentence.
Something like the books are on the top shelf.
And now the word is connected to books, and to a room, and to a picture in your head. 3 connections instead of 0, so it's much easier to find later.
What's the second reason?
Learning single words when English words very rarely travel alone.
Say a bit more about that because I'm not sure I follow.
English words come in pairs and groups. You don't learn decision by itself. You learn make a decision.
I hear do a decision from learners all the time, and now I understand where it comes from.
From exactly this. They learned the word on its own, so they had to guess the rest of it.
What are some other pairs worth knowing?
Heavy rain, not strong rain. Take a break, not make a break. Small things, but they're everywhere.
And these are the details that make your English sound more natural.
They are, and it doesn't take much more effort to learn them together.
How do you mean?
If you're learning decision anyway, learning make a decision at the same time gives you much more useful information.
Okay, that's a good argument. What's reason 3?
Meeting a word once and then moving straight on to the next one.
How many times does a word actually need before it stays?
It varies a lot by person and word, but seeing a word once usually isn't enough.
This is where apps can trick you, I think. You get it right once, and the screen tells you you're finished.
That first meaning is only an introduction. You haven't really done anything with the word yet.
And reason 4?
Learning words you're never going to need in your own life.
Oh, this one is mine. I have a very good example.
Tell me, please.
I once spent a whole week on Spanish farm animals. Cow, goat, chicken, all of it.
And how often does that subject come up for you?
Never. Not once in my life, in any language. Meanwhile, I couldn't say anything about my own job.
That's the trap with textbook lists. There's somebody's idea of a beginner, not a picture of your actual week.
So the list should come out of my own days rather than out of a book.
Your job, your family, your hobbies, words that have a reason to exist in your life.
Can I add a smaller reason to your list?
Please do.
Too many at once. If I try 30 in an evening, nothing survives. If I try 5, some of them stay.
That matches what most learners find, and 5 feels lazy, which is why people don't believe it works.
It felt lazy to me for months. I kept thinking I wasn't doing enough.
But 5 a day means you can work with more than 1,000 words over a year.
When you put a number on it like that, it sounds enormous.
And 30 in one evening usually becomes 2 by Friday. Slow really is faster here.
What's the last reason?
Never saying the word out loud, not even once.
Only reading it and writing it down, you mean?
And then the first time it ever leaves your mouth is in a real conversation with someone standing there waiting for an answer.
That's a terrible place to try something for the first time.
You've never actually said the word before. At that point, it isn't really a memory problem.
So it's not only about remembering it.
Right. You haven't practiced saying it yet. Okay, let's get to the useful part. What actually helps?
Finally, give me the first thing.
Collect words from your own life instead of from lists somebody else wrote.
Where do people find them in practice?
A show you're watching, an article you read on your phone, something a colleague said in a meeting.
So the words come to me rather than me going out hunting for them.
And a word from a real moment arrives with a story already attached to it. You remember where you were when you met it.
Is this what you do yourself, or is it just advice?
I do it every day. I write down words from Spanish shows, and next to each one, I write the scene it came from.
Not just the translation, then.
Not only the translation, no. The scene is half of what makes the word stay.
What's the next thing on your list?
Learn the whole phrase the way we said earlier. Your notebook should be full of pieces, not single words.
What does one of those pieces look like?
I completely forgot. It depends on the weather. Ready to use with no building required in the moment.
That's much less work when you're actually speaking.
You take the whole phrase and use it without building anything.
Off the shelf. The flat thing up there.
I am never going to escape that word, am I?
Not while I'm here. What comes after that?
Used every new word within a day. Out loud in a sentence about your actual life.
Give me an example because this sounds like the part people skip.
You learn overwhelmed. Don't write overwhelmed equals very stressed and close the notebook.
Say something true about yourself instead.
I felt overwhelmed at work today. 5 seconds, once, out loud. That's the entire exercise.
And that's enough to move it over to the other list?
It starts the move. It won't finish it on its own, but nothing else even starts it.
Even if I'm alone in my kitchen with nobody listening?
Nobody has to hear you. The important part is that you say it out loud.
Good, because I talk to my cat in Spanish and she has never once corrected me.
Your cat is doing important work and doesn't know it.
She has no idea. So what happens after that first day?
You meet the word again on purpose a few days later.
Do I review everything I've ever written every day?
No, that gets exhausting, and it's why people quit. Look at yesterday's words today and last week's words once this week.
Spread out over time rather than piled up in one session.
Your memory keeps things it meets more than once over a period of time. That's the whole mechanism, and it's not complicated.
And an app can handle this part for me, can't it?
Most of them do it automatically, and that part of an app is very useful.
So the app is for coming back to words, not for meeting them the first time.
Meet them in real life, then let the app bring them back to you. That division of work is a good one.
You keep coming back to the number, though. How many words a day is right?
Fewer than you think. 5 a day is plenty, and 3 is completely fine on a busy day.
Which still sounds lazy to most people who are studying seriously.
It sounds lazy and it works. 30 a day sounds productive and it doesn't.
Because those 30 never get used by anybody?
They never get used and they never come back. So the real number isn't how many words you meet in a week.
It's how many of them you actually use.
That's the number I'd pay attention to.
Can I show you something I changed in my notebook?
Please, I'd like to see it.
I've started writing 3 words where I used to write 1, decide, and then decision, and decisive underneath it.
That's a word family, and it's an easy way to get more from one word.
Why is that so useful?
Because the words are already connected in your head, so the second and third one take almost no extra work.
1 word ends up giving me 3.
Sometimes 5. Look at success, successful, succeed, successfully.
There's something else I changed in that notebook, actually.
Go on, tell me.
I stopped copying the example sentence out of the dictionary.
Good. What do you write instead of it?
My own sentence. So shelf isn't a dictionary example anymore. It's my books are on the shelf by the window.
And now the word is part of your own life, not somebody else's example. That's much easier to remember.
That makes sense. My apartment is easier to remember than a dictionary.
There's one more idea, and it surprises people, so I want to finish on it.
Go ahead. I'm curious.
Explain the word to somebody else.
To another learner, you mean?
Another learner, a friend, or out loud to an empty room. The listener isn't really the point here.
Then what is the point of doing it?
You can't explain a word you only half know. The holes show up immediately in the middle of your own sentence.
And filling those holes is where the actual learning happens.
That's exactly it. And it takes about a minute.
Can I add one more? This one changed things for me.
Please, go ahead.
Learn words before you need them, when you know a situation is coming.
Give me an example of that.
A doctor's appointment. The night before, I learn 8 or 10 words I know are going to come up.
And do those ones stay with you?
All of them. Because I use every single one of them the next morning.
That's the clearest version of everything we've said today. Words with a job stay.
And words without a job quietly leave.
Let's clear up a few myths about vocabulary now.
Good idea. What's the first one?
You need thousands of words before you can hold a conversation.
Is that actually false? Because it sounds reasonable.
Completely false. Everyday conversation runs on a surprisingly small core, repeated constantly,
And at B1 or B2, you probably know many of those words already.
which means the problem usually isn't the size of your vocabulary at all.
It's which of the two lists your words are sitting on.
We keep coming back to that, and we're going to keep coming back to it.
What's the second myth?
Flashcards are enough on their own.
I've believed this one for years, honestly.
They can definitely help, but if you always see the English word first, you're mostly training recognition again.
Because the finding has been done for me before I even start.
Turn the card around and it becomes a completely different exercise.
So I should keep the cards then.
Keep them and add one spoken sentence to each one. The card plus the mouth is a strong combination.
And the third myth?
You need the exact translation in your own language.
You often can't get one, though, can you?
Many words have no exact match anywhere. You'd be waiting a very long time for some of them.
Then what goes in the notebook instead?
The meaning in English, if you can manage it, or just an example sentence, which is often better anyway.
Isn't that harder at the beginning?
It's a little harder at first, but it helps you start thinking directly in English. There's one less step between the idea and the word.
What's the fourth one?
You forget a word, you failed.
This one upsets people more than anything else we get asked about.
And it's completely wrong. Everybody forgets words in every language they speak.
Including the first language we grew up with.
We all lose words and describe our way around them. Nobody calls that a failure when it happens in English.
So forgetting isn't a sign of a bad memory at all.
It's a sign that the word needs one more meeting. That's really all it means.
That takes a lot of pressure off when you put it like that.
You're not failing at anything. You're just not finished yet.
One more. Reading a lot is enough to build vocabulary.
Oh, that's a big one. There's some truth in it.
Which part?
Reading is great for building your recognition vocabulary. It does very little for the other one.
So you can read for years and still hunt for words the moment you speak.
It happens constantly. Keep reading, obviously. Just take 3 words out of each book and use them.
3 of them, not 30.
And you'll meet plenty of the other words again later anyway.
Can I ask how you built your French vocabulary? Because you actually did it.
Slowly, and in a way that felt embarrassing at the time.
What did you do in practice?
1 page of a notebook a week. 5 phrases with my own sentences written next to them.
5 a week sounds like almost nothing at all.
It felt like nothing. Other people were doing 50, but all 5 got used out loud, several times each.
And where were you after a year of that?
I had about 250 phrases I could use without having to search for them.
That's a real working vocabulary at that point.
A small one, but I could reach every part of it. That's the difference that matters.
Did you ever try to speed the whole thing up?
A few times, yes. And those fast weeks disappeared completely.
Nothing at all left from them?
Almost nothing. The slow weeks are the ones I can still use today.
Let's walk through a real situation together.
Good idea. You're in the middle of a sentence, and the word you need isn't there.
Which happens to everyone at every level. What's the first move?
Describe it instead of stopping. Use the words you already have available.
My flat thing up there approach.
Exactly that. And people understand far more often than learners expect them to.
What's the second move?
Ask for it directly. What's the word for is a completely normal question?
And most people quite enjoy being asked in my experience.
They do. And now you've got the word from a real moment with a memory attached to it.
What's the third one?
Use a simpler word on purpose and keep going. A big problem works perfectly well when a serious issue won't come.
The conversation stays alive, which is the whole goal.
A simple word said beats a perfect word missed every single time.
And the fourth?
Write it down afterwards, not during the conversation, afterwards.
10 seconds on my phone, then into the notebook that evening.
And now you're much more likely to remember it next time. That's how it happens, one word at a time.
Can we try one of these before we move on?
Let's do it. You're describing your job, and the word deadline won't come.
I have a lot of work, and it must be finished by Friday.
Nobody heard anything missing there. Nobody even paused to think about it.
And tonight I look up deadline and say it in a sentence about my own week.
Do you want a harder one to try?
Go on. Give me a difficult one.
You're at a restaurant, and you've lost the word for the thing you eat with.
Can I have the small thing for eating, not a spoon?
And a fork arrives at the table, and the meal continues as normal.
Mildly embarrassing, but nothing worse than that.
Mildly embarrassing and completely successful.
I'll take that. What about a work meeting, though? That's the one that scares people.
Because everybody is listening, and you can't stop and describe things for 10 seconds.
So what actually helps in that situation?
5 or 6 words prepared before the meeting about that specific topic.
Not a whole script, though.
Never a script, just the words you already know are coming.
And if something goes missing anyway in the middle of it?
You simplify and keep moving. Nobody in that room is grading your vocabulary.
They want the idea, not the grammar around it.
They care much more about your idea than whether every word is perfect.
Some days, none of this works, though. I should say that.
Some days are like that. What happened to you?
Last week, I sat down for my 5 Spanish words, and my brain simply refused.
Were you too tired for it?
Completely. It wouldn't hold anything new at all that evening.
So what did you end up doing?
I read yesterday's 5, said 2 of them out loud, and stopped there.
That's the right move, and I want people to hear that clearly.
It felt like doing nothing at the time.
Reviewing old words on a tired day is real work. It's also much better than learning new ones badly.
Do less, but do something.
And be kind about it. Today is a review day is a perfectly normal thing to say to yourself.
Better than, why can't I remember anything? Which is where I usually go.
Much better, and much more likely to keep you going tomorrow.
What does a normal week look like then?
Tell me yours first, since you have a system now.
5 words a day from something I read or watched. 1 sentence each, out loud, which takes about 5 minutes.
And how long does the reviewing take?
Another 5 minutes on yesterday's words and last week's.
10 minutes a day, which adds up to over 60 hours across a year.
That's a lot when you put it like that.
And it's small enough that you can actually keep doing it.
What about a weekly challenge? Something small on top of that.
Take one phrase a week and use it in 3 real sentences.
Out loud, 3 separate times, I assume.
In 3 different situations, if you can manage it. The variety is what makes it stick.
After a year, that's 50 phrases I can use without thinking too hard.
And 50 phrases you can use easily makes a real difference when you speak.
Should people keep all of this in one place?
Yes, and I'd keep it deliberately small.
Why does it need to be small?
Because nobody ever opens page 400 of a notebook.
That's probably true.
It's completely true. A notebook with 2,000 words in it stops being useful very fast.
So what's the alternative to that?
1 page a week, and you look back at last month's page sometimes.
Small enough that you can actually finish it.
Everything today has been small enough to finish. That isn't an accident.
Before we go, can we actually try this? Not talk about it. Try it.
Let's do it. I'll give you a meaning, and you find the phrase we use today.
No looking at anything. Everyone at home, same rules as me.
Ready? To stop working for a short time.
Take a break.
Good. Next one. To choose something after thinking about it.
Make a decision.
One more. Rain that is very strong.
Heavy rain, not strong rain.
Now the part that matters. Make 1 sentence about your own life using any of those 3.
I need to take a break after this episode.
And that's the whole thing in about 10 seconds of work.
It felt harder than listening to you explain it for half an hour.
It should feel harder. You had to find the phrase yourself, and then you had to use it.
Which is the part almost nobody ever practices.
And that's the kind of practice that helps build your active vocabulary.
Okay, a quick recap before we go.
You have 2 vocabularies, one you recognize and one you can actually use.
And the second one decides what happens when you open your mouth.
Collect words from your own life instead of from long lists.
Learn the whole phrase rather than the single word.
Use every new word within a day out loud.
Come back to it again a few days later.
Fewer words done properly. 5, not 30.
Word families and your own sentences instead of the dictionaries.
Explain a word to somebody if you want to see how well you really know it.
And prepare a few words before a situation you know is coming.
When a word goes missing in a conversation, describe it, ask for it, simplify, and write it down afterwards.
On tired days, review instead of adding anything new.
And the idea underneath all of it is this: a word isn't learned when you understand it.
It's learned when you've used it out loud.
One small sentence with a word you met this week.
Worth more than another list of 30.
If today helped, remember to subscribe.
And tell us in the comments, what's a word you learned recently and actually used?
We read every comment, and we're curious about this one.
One more idea for your practice. Listen to this episode again tomorrow and take 3 phrases out of it.
Then use them in your own sentences the same day.
That's active practice, not just listening.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Keep your lists small and actually use the words you learn.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.